Hello guys, this is a review of Risky Business, starring Tom Cruise. Risky Business follows the story of Joel, who is, again, a high school student. Unlike the other movies I've reviewed and that are of the same genre, Joel is in a very good place in his life. He has a family, and they're nice to him. He has a big home. He has friends. He attends a good school and is involved in extracurricular activities. He has a good grade point average, but it's not perfect, and his father wants him to attend Princeton. That's, I guess, the only little pebble on the road is that he lives his life to please his parents, but like most kids and teens, that's what happens. His parents are going on a trip. I think they're gonna visit a relative, and that's when things go wild in this movie. This is it is a teen movie, but at the same time it's more like American Pie, to be honest. So just viewers' discretion is advised. I always try and like keep it appropriate, but yeah, it's just so you know. Yeah, that's when things go wild, like I said. Miles, I think it's the name of like his best friend, has a group of friends. He requests the services of a sex worker, and when she arrives, she turns out to be a transgender woman. She obviously realizes that Joel is not interested, and she tells him, "Well, you're gonna have to pay me." I think his parents just leave him like $100. And he tells, "Okay, thank you," and she leaves him a number for the type of girl that he would be more inclined to call. He decides to do it at the end of the night, and the girl arrives, and her name is Lana. They do what they have to do, and the next morning she's still there, like eating breakfast, and tells him, "Okay, it's gonna be $300." $300. And he's like, "I don't have that much money, but I could go to a bank. I could like do this, do that." And she's like, "Oh, sure, I mean, do what you have to do." So he goes over to the bank and realizes, I kind of missed that part in the movie. There's like a note or something. I don't know if it's that his parents didn't fully trust him or something. It looked like they did, but anyway, he didn't have any money available to him at that moment. So he goes back thinking, what am I going to say? What am I going to do? And he realizes that Lana's gone, and she's gone with a very precious decoration, like this crystal egg thing that belonged to his mother. Very, very pricey. So he calls her and he tries to find her. He goes over with Miles to this place to kind of let her know, "Hey, I know where you live, I know where you're at, like you have to pay me." She looks at him, she goes out, she's with this guy, and then she goes out, she sees him, he's like, "Hey, is that your car? Like, let's go, we'll talk about it." He's like, "You have to give me your egg. You have to give me sorry, you have to give me my egg back." She's like, I will, but just go. And they didn't understand like the rush. Why is she so desperate to leave? That's when the guy that she was with earlier comes out, and his name is Guido, I think. He's a pimp. He's angry at her, and the chase starts. It's a very fun chase. He's like driving his father's Porsche, and she begs him, "Please, can I stay? Please, please, please." He ends up letting her stay. She calls over a friend, and then one night they go out, they eat ice cream, they get high, and Lana becomes upset. She accidentally undoes the brakes on the Porsche, and it ends up on a lake. So, you know, he's just so terrified with what his father is gonna say, like what is he gonna do, because you have to take into consideration they baby him, they overprotect him, they think that he's like the most, like the nicest little kid in the world, and he doesn't break anything, and he wouldn't hurt a fly. But reality is, especially like you see this at the beginning, he has like these visions of him being intimate with another girl, like I think it's the babysitter, not his babysitter but a babysitter, and all these things. And it's kind of like very relatable. So he's like has other things going on for him. It's not really focused on what he has to be focused on, and he's obviously mortified that his parents are gonna find out. His whole image is going to be affected. They're never gonna trust him again. He feels like it's just the end of the world. And it's the car, it's the egg, it's like a lot of things, right? So Lana reminds him of this proposition that she made to him, work proposition, where they would, I guess, turn his house into a brothel and she's gonna invite a whole bunch of her friends, and he's gonna invite a whole bunch of his friends, since they're like rich kids and they're sex workers, and you know there's gonna be business logically. Before his parents went away, his dad spoke to him about his whole idea of him attending Princeton, and he said that he talked to somebody, and that somebody was gonna come and interview him. And guess when that person decides to show up is during the whole work process. It's very funny. That's one of the funniest scenes in the movie, in my opinion, because he walks in and I thought, is he like the gardener, a neighbor? He's like somebody that's going to threaten to call the cops. But no, it was a recruiter from Princeton. They talk, and he can't really get his thoughts out correctly, Joel, because he's constantly being interrupted by Lana or by other guys that want in on the service and everything. So it just becomes chaos, and at the end he just basically says, you know, screw it, fuck it. That's basically what his friend has been telling him this whole time, like, you know, you have to at some point just stand up and just whatever, like just screw it. And he says that to the recruiter, and I don't know, it's kind of implied that he just leaves or whatever, but they don't really agree on anything. But the recruiter himself helps himself to the services provided at that home. And then it's like a few hours before his parents get back from their trip. They're waiting at the airport because Joel was supposed to pick them up. But when he goes back home, because he makes a lot of money, like this is really profitable, a really profitable business, he realizes when he gets home that there's no furniture left. There's no decorations, no carpet, no tables, no chairs, no nothing. And Guido, he talks to Guido, well, he calls Lana, and Guido answers. He's like, hey, you know, you have something that belongs to me, which is, you know, everything that I've lost because of you, all the money that I could have made and like whatever. So Guido decides to sell everything that Joel owned back to him, and Joel accepts. Logically, his parents are going to get home. He's obviously very happy that he has that amount of money with him, but he cannot for the life of him risk his parents coming home to an empty house. What is he gonna say? Like, that's even worse than like the whole Porsche thing, because he did all of this to repair the vehicle, right? He did all of this for that, and then all of this happened, and he buys it. He buys everything. The egg that I think they're like Guido asked for like $300, and he's like, I only have 30. So he's like, okay, I'm gonna drop a 0, something like this. That's another funny scene. They give it back to him, he puts it back, everything is back in place. His friends help him set everything right where it should be, and his parents get home. He's like, oh, I didn't realize you were like, it was today. I must have taken the wrong time, the wrong date. And his mother goes over to the egg. He's like, I cannot believe this. I trusted you. Whatever happened to my egg? Has a little crack inside the crystal. And he's just like, oh, I'm sorry. I'll repay. I'll pay for it. She's like, with what money? So, and then he says like suggests yard work, so he's out working the yard, and it's like, you know, the irony of it all, that he's been living this very 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 bad life, very dangerous life at times, and the mom's upset because of the egg. So then while he's doing yard work outside, I think he's using the lawnmower, I think his dad goes out and congratulates him. He's like, hey, you know, the recruiter guy called and he was very pleased with the interview, you're gonna get into Princeton. So everything at the end of the day worked out for Joel, and it ends on a very good note. The movie, now, like, that's it for the plot. No, sorry, there's one more thing. It ends with him and Lana like walking through the park at night or something, some pretty place by the city, or in the city, I don't really know. I think he lives in Michigan, or I don't know, I forgot, but that's besides the point. They're talking and she's like, hey, you know, I'd like to see you again. He's like, well, it's gonna cost you. So it's like, you know, they're just kind of messing with each other. It ends up on that good note. Sorry. Now for my opinion on the movie. The movie was enjoyable. I liked it, but I felt like I didn't really understand how Risky Business, and by the way, it came with that slip cover. I just took it off, you know, to show you the DVD, but it's that one right there. It's pretty cool. I got it from Walmart. Again, I usually get it from Walmart. This special section for American classics, and this is considered an American classic, and it was very successful, and it's supposed to be like the launching of Tom Cruise's career, like, you know, the pivotal moments. But for example, the other movies, that's why I wanted to review Some Kind of Wonderful and Pretty in Pink next to this one, because those movies are awesome. I like them. I would say that I like Some Kind of Wonderful maybe a bit more than Risky Business. I'm not sure, because I didn't really like research this, but I think that it has a lot to do with maybe the studio, the marketing. I know, like I said, that this is basically in like any other 80s movie of the same genre, but more American Pie oriented, just more adultish. It, you know, that's the thing that kind of that I'm confused about. Obviously, who has never watched, who above 20 years of age has not watched Tom Cruise in his infamous rendition of old times rock and roll, where he's like in like his dress shirt and his underwear, he's dancing around. That's when the first night that his parents are not home, so he takes advantage of that. Very famous scene. The movie itself is very famous, so I knew of it, but I thought that it was going to be an adult movie, in the sense that it wasn't going to be about teenage drama, teenage situations, which I should have known better, because Tom Cruise is not that old, and in the 80s he was a very young man, so I guess that was my fault. But I felt like the way that they praise the movie Risky Business and everything, the way that I've consumed the advertisements for it or whatever, I just felt that it was going to be like, I don't know, a different type of movie. I wasn't disappointed, but I just think it's unfair, to be honest, that movies like Pretty in Pink are like, oh yeah, this is like a cult film or whatever, but it's not as respected as this one, as Risky Business, simply for the fact that I mean, not simply, like I said, there are probably many reasons that I don't know, but I think one of the main ones is that they just kind of maybe had more money, or just promoted it better. It happens with films, like, even though a film is like not any better than another one, or maybe even much worse, or whatever the case might be. It's not really balanced fairly, in my opinion. For example, the whole Academy Awards thing, they say these are the best films, and I'm not gonna go out and say, oh, those are bad films. They're not. And I'm not that type of person. I always give credit to everybody, even if I don't like the film personally. I respect that they put in the work, and I hope that they put in the heart and the passion for it. Great. But sometimes I've watched films that don't get recognized at all, that don't make millions of dollars, yet they're, in my opinion, a lot better. But these multi-millionaire films are just being praised. And I'm not saying that that's the case with Risky Business, but I'm trying to understand why Risky Business gets all the respect and all the accolades, and just, I don't know. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I like the film. I'm not saying that I don't like it, but I'm saying, like, it's a teen film, and it's promoted and it's respected as if it were something else. Not to say that comedy is any less, but you know how they are with the whole drama genre and stuff. But yeah, I like it. It's fun. It took me by surprise in some of the topics. I do think I prefer Some Kind of Wonderful better. I think this is more like Pretty in Pink, maybe even a little bit less. I'm not quite sure. I would give it a rating of I don't know. I want to give it a rating of 7.5 out of 10, but I feel like that sounds low, but I'm gonna have to go with it. 7.5 out of 10 in its category. It's a good movie. I wouldn't give it 7.5 out of 10 if I didn't like it. But yeah, I think I find more soul in movies like these, Pretty in Pink and Some Kind of Wonderful. But that's just my opinion. And I keep saying it over and over, I know, but I like it. I know that it sounds like I didn't like it, but I did. I just want to make that clear. This is actually like... No. I think it's the 25th anniversary, this DVD release in particular. Fun time. Like I said before, I love the 80s. I love their content. Thank you for watching.